This is Trumpet Man with 40 Card College, bringing you Day 2, Draft 2 of the Dominar United Arena Open. Last time we drafted Blue-Red, hopefully you got to see that, but let's jump in here. And try to replicate that success. Alright, this pack is exciting. It's got some good stuff. So the best cards, I would say, by quite a wide margin, are Solkanar and Phyrexian Missionary. And then you have my Iconoclast, pretty good, not quite on their level. And then we got a bunch of commons. So that's kind of what we see in these packs oftentimes. I think Solkanar is really good if you can build around it. I don't mind taking it first because it's good in like a blue-black or blue-red deck, splashing it. And it's also good in domain. Phyrexian Missionary is also really good. I just think it's not quite as powerful as Solkanar, and it's still a multicolored card. It is better than a lot of cards, but I think Solkanar you can kind of build around, like I said. It's really good with bounce spells, and so I'm going to take it here, and it really gives... We still have a lot of flexibility. Even though it's a 3-color card in this format, it is possible to be able to play it still in a wide variety of decks. Okay, so I think my best options here are Tribute to Urborg, Terra Sunder, and maybe Impulse. Terra Sunder, I'm adding a color, but it's probably, if I'm full, 4 or 5 color domain, Terra Sunder has the highest upside. Versus taking like Tribute to Urborg, which is I think the safest pick. Impulse help us find the Solkanar, but second picking an Impulse feels kind of bad. So really it's between Terra Sunder and Tribute to Urborg. I think it's a pretty close pick. I think I want to take the Terra Sunder. I just think it's more powerful, and that matters a lot in your first couple picks. But I think if you took Tribute to Urborg, that's not necessarily a mistake. Especially if you're not just blue-black, splashing the Solkanar. Alright, so there's a Vine Wall that would be great to have, but Cut Down is really powerful. I think it's the most powerful cheap way to interact, which is often a good way to win in this format. There's an Espionage there, which would be good for our domain aspirations. If we're trying to just draw a bunch of cards, or blue-black control. So I think right now what we're trying to figure out is, are we blue-black? Because I'm seeing a lot of black cards. Are we green-black? Or are we just 4 or 5 color domain? And the answer is we don't know yet. But we'll keep an eye on what keeps showing up. Timeless Lotus. That's kind of exciting. I don't think that's where we are, but it's kind of exciting. So I could take Radiant Grove. The problem is the one color we're not. It is a land if I want to go down that road. I could also just take Vine Shaper Prodigy, which I think is reasonable. I don't want either of the black cards. I could take Coral Colony, but it's sort of... I don't love taking Coral Colony as much because it makes me want to be more base blue, and it doesn't really fit into the plan. Like, we're not going to have that many walls. I think I'm just going to take the Prodigy. It's only okay. I would have taken basically any on-color land. If it wasn't a white land, basically, I would have taken that over it. But here we are. Alright. Okay, speaking of, I think we have to be responsible and just take the Geothermal Bog so that we can splash this Solkanar. Yavimaya Sojourners, great card. Eerie Soul Tender, great card. And Pixie Illusionist, all great cards. Probably would be happy playing them in some ways here, but I think, like I said, we do have to start fixing at some point. So if we take this, noticing that like these domain-ish, 4-color soup cards are still in the pack. So that is kind of a nice sign that our lane is semi-open at least. Okay, there's another Geothermal Bog we could take, and really nothing else of interest. Founding the Third Path can be good in the right decks. Not here. I don't want to speculate on a Radiant Grove. Really, the white card I would be looking to splash, really, I guess, first and foremost, would be Destroy Evil. But we haven't really been seeing white cards, so I feel like that's just going to get drafted by someone else. So trying to get into white for our like 5th color of domain is, I think, foolish. So we have 2 red lands already, so I definitely don't want the Wooded Ridgeline over the Contaminated Aquifor. The question is, do I want any of these other cards? Not really a Gitu Amplifier deck. Not a Garna deck, that's too aggressive. I could see a Magmagoth Sentry and Salvage Manworker eventually making the deck if I need to, but it's better to just take the land in this spot. Ooh, Sojourners. I don't think we're a Golden Argosy deck, although it does actually work pretty well with Solkanar, because you can get in the boat and then it resets all his abilities. But if we just have a bunch of value creatures, or not value creatures, if we have a bunch of removal spells and things, then I think the Argosy is not great. Like, I've played it with Solkanar before, and it just wasn't good in that deck because I was only playing like 10 creatures. I think the Sojourners is going to add more consistency. Okay, so now Salvage Manaworker or Bogvatcher. I think the Manaworker is actually better than people give it credit for. It just lets you hit your curve. The only thing is it's not great with domain-specific payoffs. But do I want a random Bog Badger? Not really. I mean, I could see playing a Bog Badger if we're really aggressive, but that's not really what our deck is. And it's a 2, because this Vine Shaper Prodigy is really not a 2-drop. I'm going to take the Sabotage for matchups. I don't want to play an Alpine Worm, but I think I'm more likely to play it than a Coalition Warbrute. Ooh, Crystal Grotto. Again, I don't think I'm playing Warbrute, and I don't really want to play Toxic Abomination. You can play it to get on board just to trade, but I'd rather fix my mana. Oh, Illusionist. I might be blue-green. Or I could take Snare Spinner. I don't know if that's right. The problem is I don't know if I'm base blue. If I knew I was base blue-green, I would have taken the... Oh, nice. I opened Rith earlier today and couldn't take it, so now I get to. If I knew I was base blue-green, I would have taken the Fairy, because I think it helps my deck more. But if I'm base green-black, the Fairy's not that good, and I'd rather be able to cast my Cut Down on time. Snare Spinner also is a good sideboard card against some of the blue decks where they're trying to kill you with Drakes, 2/3 flyers, that kind of thing. Alright, so Rith, and the nice thing is this pack is pretty deep. The black drafters might be taking the Cult Conscripts and Bone Splinters over Rager, so small chance that Rager comes back. But also there's 3 lands we're interested in. Obviously Micromancer, but that's not going to come back. But I'm going to take this Rith and make it work. And also, Salvage Manaworker just got better because, you know, we just want to play our ridiculous, mythic 5-color rares. There's a Destroy Evil in the pack that I'm a little more interested in now than I was before. I could also take Keldon Flame Sage. I do have a couple spells to take with it, and I already have some red fixing. It's a pretty powerful card if I get more ways to interact. And I already have 2 red cards, so I could be more based like red-green domain, even though I'm more on the mid-range controlling side. That's not usually the case, but we have pretty warped pick orders due to all of our rares this draft, so I think Keldon Flame Sage is just pretty powerful. Okay, we have a wealth of domain options here. I'm going to get this Elfheim Worm out of here, because there's no way we are playing that. So really, I think the option is Niall or Miria's Outrider. I am going to be playing all 5 colors, so Niall gets a little bit better there. And I know I'm going to play 5 colors because I'm going to make these work. Although I don't know if it's going to be specifically domain lands. I already have 2 5-drops, so I'm a little less interested in the Miria's Outrider than I would be otherwise. So I think I'm going to take Niall over the Rootwalla and try to make that work. Alright, probably need to take a land here. I don't think I can play Wrath very easily on curve. So, do I want a red-white land or a white-black land? I think I want the white-black land, because It's gonna help fix for. It's gonna fix better for I think Solkanar and Rith. Although tapped white source is kind of nice. I already have 3 tapped black sources. I'm kind of talking myself into the Sacred Peaks actually. Bone Splinters. If I can get some Vine Walls, Bone Splinters would be good. None of these other cards fit my deck at all, and I don't think I can play Najal. So I think I'm going to take this over the Sea Scavenger. That would be another card I could take here. Not that it's a good card, but if I'm looking at my colors, I still don't really know what colors I am. But I do need a little more removal. Alright, so we can take a land here for sure. Which land do I want? I don't think I want to... probably just want the green land. Right? Just take the Radiant Grove. Then I would have 2 sources for Rith already. Well, they're all white lands. I can't really play a Talus Lookout anyways. Shalai's Acolyte would be decent in the deck. But I think I just want different colors of lands so I don't overload. So that if I can play some extra basics, they'll be in different colors. So Meteorite would help me splash. Do I want anything else here? Vivisector helps me block. I could always play a spare Snare Spinner main too if I need to. I think I'm just going to take Meteorite. It's an okay card, and if I have powerful enough effects, then it's just fine. Oh, Solkanar also is a reason to put Bone Splinters in my deck. If I need to sack it on the last turn, I can. Alright, I already have 5 lands, so the question is, do I take Sojourners as a payoff or another land? I think I need the payoff. The lands are going pretty late this draft, so I need to be able to play like my Sojourners on turn 4 to stabilize. Alrighty. Speaking of turn 4, I think I just want a Sentry. Then I don't have to play my Snare Spinner main. The first one's okay. I'm not really base blue for the Impulse, and I already have a Bone Splinters. I don't want to play 2 if I don't have a bunch of tokens. Okay, here, probably just take the Soul Tender. That might mean I'm base green-black with this pick. It's also good with Bone Splinters. So if I'm base green-black, I want the 2-drop over the blue-drop. Probably not going to play any of these. Out of the sideboard, I think Warbrute's the most effective. Alright. Well, we're a control deck, so Temporal Firestorm is pretty nice. It's very powerful. And there's nothing else here that's even close to that power level, so I'm glad we already have 3 red lands. It makes the Meteorite pick up a lot better too, because it's going to help us ramp to 7 and also fix for the colors we're missing. So that definitely works. This Mana Worker is... Honestly, I might play a second Mana Worker in this deck. Like, our cards are so strong. It's just a matter of casting them. Obviously, it would be nice if the land came back, but this pack, that's probably not going to happen. Alright, we have Arona's Vortex. We have Extinguish the Light, which I don't love the double black on it. So I think it would be easier to just play Arona's Vortex than Extinguish, and it's a more powerful effect most of the time, because it doesn't trigger like death abilities, that kind of thing. So I think I'll take that over the Extinguish. Also, just being able to sometimes unsummon is obviously a huge part of the card. I'd like to pick up a few more lands. Right now we only have 5. I do want to have around 8. But you gotta take the powerful cards when you can. And the lands have been going appropriately later this draft. A lot of times they just get picked up so soon, and it's just a disaster. Alright. Let's see, which land do I want? I don't love Radiant Grove doesn't cast Solkanar, where at least Molten Tributary casts both of these cards. So I think it's just going to be better for this deck to have that and play like more forests if I need to. Also, I think the Radiant Grove, people aren't picking up those as much, and there's more green cards in the pack. So small chance the Radiant Grove wheels. whereas the Molten Tributary will never wheel. Ooh, Nishova Brawler. Well, we're in domain. We're in the right spot for our draft. I'm 100% sure of that. That's been very nice. Ooh, Miri's Outrider. I will take that. Glad I didn't take the first one, because we do have a Glut of 5, but whatever, it's really strong. It'd be nice to be able to ramp somewhat, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're just going to take a land here. Like, the Sojourners are going to be 3 or 4 mana a lot, because we're actually getting quite a few lands. I could play a Snare Spinner just to block. Like, I'm a little bit worried about getting run over, but our cards are really strong. I can take a Splatter Goblin or a 3/3. 3/3 could ramp with my Mana Worker also, which is kind of nice. I think that's better than a Splatter Goblin, honestly. Tougher on the mana, but works out. Would I play in... I probably would play a Pixie Illusionist. I don't really want to Jai's Fire NATO in my deck. Ooh. I could actually become more base blue. Like, be more Teamer. And play a Talus Lookout. Or I could just Pixie Illusionist. And be base blue-green. And then I can splash the black. Actually, you know what? I think this might be the time for Shieldred's Restoration. Thrill of Possibility? Probably not. Well, actually, maybe. We don't have a ton to do after we cast all the cards. Base blue, I probably want this just to block out of the sideboard. I could also play Votus Sea Scavenger. Now that I'm more base blue. Like, if I cut the Vivisector, let's see where we're at. If I do this, I can do this. We're base Teamer, but still playing black cards. I have 1, 2, 3 sources of white plus Mana Work on Meteorite, so I don't need a Plains. Let's see. This is a 4-drop. This is really a 7. Can gain us 8 life. With Sojourners, can dome them again with Outrider. Oh, also, when I was looking at the Rona's Vortex pick, another good reason to have Vortex over Extinguish the Light is you can go through the Solkanar, and then when you pass it to your opponent, bounce it back to your hand with the Vortex. I've done that before, and it's pretty great. I can confirm. I probably could just cut this Thrill of Possibility now that... If I'm going to play Shieldred's Restoration, which I think I probably should, I just have a lot of high-impact cards I want to get back. Like, if they kill my Riff, and then I return it on 7 mana and gain 5 life, that's pretty absurd. I didn't see a Nurborg Repossession. Honestly, I probably would have played another Salvage Mana Worker in this deck. Our mana base is going to be really good, because we have 2 Pixie Illusionists, so as long as we prioritize our blue-green mana, I think we're going to be fine. Bone Splinters, we have 16 creatures. It's fine if I sack an Illusionist later on. I have Terra Sunder, and I have Vortex, and then Bone Splinters as the cards that answer everything. A Cut Down. We're a little light on 2s. I could also put a Volshae Tide Turner in my deck, which lets me play Vine Shaper Prodigy, Terra Sunder, and Rona's Vortex. If I did that, I would just cut the Scavenger, which is kind of mopey in my deck. 3/2 is not a great stat line. It also lets me cast Pixie Illusionist on turn 4. Yeah, maybe I'll just do that. I don't hate that. I just kind of want another blocker. Then I have 3 things I can play on turn 3. I have these in case I want to play a tap land and play a 2-drop. Is there anything else I want to put in from my sideboard? I could also just play a Snare Spinner instead of the Tide Turner. But I feel like I'm going to get more value off of this adding blue. Like, I have enough cards with kicker, and it can even randomly ramp me to... Like, I really don't want to play Shoulder's Restoration on 4 mana. Like, this card's pretty bad. But it's pretty powerful in the right situation, and I think of all situations, it's this deck. So I'm happy, I think, with these cards. And I can always sideboard accordingly. So let's build. We've got, like, Mythics.deck. Alright, so what do we have? We want to be base blue-green. So we have 6 green sources plus a Crystal Grotto and a Salvaged Mana Worker plus 2 Pixie Illusionists. So it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-ish green sources-ish. As long as we can cast the Illusionist, so we should prioritize that. I could even cut a forest for an island. Go down to like 9 green sources. I think that would be okay. Means I'm a little less consistent on turn 2 Brawler, but not even really, because of the Illusionist can come down on turn 1 with enough blue support. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish blue sources, plus the Mana Worker. That seems about right. Red, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, as long as I can cast the Illusionist. About 8 red sources. I do have early red cards, so I probably want to play that many rather than a mountain. If I have enough sources, I could also cut the Crystal Grotto for another island. But maybe that's crazy. 3, 4. Like, getting the scry and getting to cast my cards is valuable. 1, 2, 3, 4 black sources. 5, 6, 7. Sort of 7-ish black sources. Seems okay. And then white, we obviously have enough with all of these here. So the question is, 4, 5 green sources and 3, 4, 5, 6 blue sources. Is that enough? Do I want to cut a red source? Kind of not, because I want to... These are still early cards. But I can't count these as sources if I don't have blue. So I do feel like I have 7 blue sources. I don't want to go way overboard, though, because if I play all these blue sources, I don't even have that many blue cards. I do want to make sure I always am able to play my Illusionist. If I go to 8 blue sources, it would be even better. I could maybe cut... If I cut the mountain... No, sorry. If I cut... Yeah, the mountain... Then I would... If I count Illusionists as red sources, I would have... 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7. 7 red sources for these two, plus the meteorite for these later on, and a Crystal Grotto. So I think that's okay. I think I don't need a mountain. I think I'd rather have another island, just to make sure I can always Illusionist. And then I can also kind of count the Illusionist as a green source at that point, because now I have 7 actual blue sources plus a Grotto. So I'm going to be able to play the Illusionist on turn 2 almost every game. And then if that's true, then as long as it doesn't die, I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 green sources. 8 green sources plus a Crystal Grotto, which is plenty. So that mana base checks out. And our black, the only, like, we have enough ways, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7 black sources is plenty. I do kind of want to make sure I have enough early because we have a cut down and an Eerie Soul Tender, so it's kind of the same as playing these early cards. So my mana base I think is excellent, especially for this format. Sometimes it's horrible, so glad we got the second Sojourners too. I could see playing Enthralled with Pit as a way to kill bigger things, but I feel like it's more of a sideboard card versus other domain decks. So I think this is what I'm going to run. And we're going to kill him with mythic rares. Alright. Can't cast our Neshoba Brawler. Don't have an Illusionist to fix. I think this hand's just bad. It's unfortunate. Our mana's good, but when you have hands like this, you just can't keep it. I can't even cast the Mew yet, even if I drew like a green source or something. So sometimes you have to mulligan. But we do have a turn 2 3/3, that's great. We're rewarded with our mulligan. There. I think I'm gonna wait to overkill it. Or I can Solkanar it and then start attacking for 5. So next turn I'm gonna play at 4/6 and then I can't riff with my mana base actually, which is unfortunate. But well, I drew Niall, so I'm just gonna play that. If this lives and starts connecting, we're gonna win pretty easily. We'll just play that. Alright, so that's gonna let me cast Rith, which is good, because before my red and white source were both on one land. Attack next turn. Assign all the damage to the goblin. Actually, I don't even know how that works. Can I assign extra? Anyways, I'm gonna attack. Yeah, I can assign 2 to it and still trample for 3. So I'll do that and then play Rith. 9 worth of stats. Pretty good. More mythics waiting in hand here. The main thing I'd be worried about would be a sweeper. If they kill my Solkanar. Alright, let's just attack. I'm gonna play the Vine Shaper Prodigy, because I'm already so far ahead that I don't think like it's kind of too all in, I think. Soul Tender's good. We're still already winning. If they do happen to have a sweeper, then we can play our mythic rare. So now, just attack and probably, what do I want to do? Draw a card in case it dies. I don't think killing a 2/3 matters all that much. Because they need to answer the dragon, and then even if they do all of that, I have this restoration. You have a lot of double extinguish and bone splinter, so for next game, keep that in mind. They have to block here. Well, they don't have to. They do have to block because I can drain them. 5. I'm just going to bring back the Rith because it's going to give me another dragon. That should end the game. And if it doesn't, we can Soul Tender from there. Seen enough Mythic Rares, so that was pretty sweet. Hopefully we can do that again. Aggressive Sabotage is kind of good against a deck with a ton of removal. We kind of just have a ton of threats, so I mean, that's the good news. Maybe cut the... well, they have some small creatures, so the Tide Turn is actually pretty decent. I don't know, our deck is pretty well built and kind of hard to sideboard with. I could cut a Meteorite for the Aggressive Sabotage. It's good for the Firestorm and the Restoration, though. Yeah, so maybe that's bad. Or I could, you know, the Bone Splinters wouldn't have been that good that game, and I have other removal. Maybe I should just cut the Bone Splinters. Most of their creatures were kind of these like mid-sized threats, and I don't want to sack my creature to Bone Splinters. The only reason I would want to is Solkanar to get rid of it. But I think they just want to kill the Solkanar, and I do have a way to get it back anyways. So I think I'll just board like that, make that one switch. This is kind of the opposite problem from the last game, where we have the I'm just gonna go Illusionist Beatdown, because then they're gonna let me hit for 5 with my Outrider. I already have a 5-drop, so. It's not a ton of pressure, but it's something. Alrighty, I think I'm gonna Grotto, try to get rid of whatever land I need. Land on top, I'm just gonna turn that into a mountain. So the question is, do they just fire off the removal spell on the Flame Sage here, or do they wait? It's kind of an interesting question. I think if they have multiple removal spells, they probably just use one. But if they only have one, they might think about it. I think I'm going to cut down their creature while they're tapped out. And then I can Tear Asunder to get the Flame Sage back as well. Drop is this. We will attack for 3. Vortex? I guess so. I think I just pay the kicker and get rid of the creature. I was going to Outrider that turn, I think, but this changes things because now this Nile can get through if they don't have a flyer. That unlocks probably some cards. Some red mana. We'll see if they have the bones. I think they do though. They had sort of more removal. Alright, so let's just make the same play. And then I think I'm gonna play Nile. Although the Outrider does... The Outrider could deal 4. But I think it's better to just, well... If I play the Outrider this turn, then next turn I can attack for a ton with it. And hitting for 4, they'd be at 9. And I get to enlist a ton, so... That actually probably is a little better. They don't have a good block unless they have a spell here. So now I can Illusionist and hit him down to 6. This is kind of why I wanted to play extra blue sources, because these Illusionists are just letting us do everything. They'll let us, you know, draw a card off Nio and have full domain. Hit him for a bit of damage. The better the cards are in your deck, the better this type of effect is. Because in a way you're kind of down a card, 1/1 body, flyer. Not that great. Something. Alright, so if they're going to do that, I should just attack in the air and play the Nile. And then I have full domain this turn. So they kind of have to chump the Nile, or else I get to draw a card. Ooh, just kidding. Calvin Flamesage, but I think the card is better. Ooh, I almost no attack back. Really bad. I was trying to set a stop. After blockers, so that, well, actually, when this goes on the stack, I can do that at that point. Now they have to kill that. But that's fine, we'll just play. Oh, that's kind of boring. We just deal them 3 and hit for 1. Hail. I will take the win. Sweet. Get the money, and we have 2 rounds left. 3 colors of mana, but I'm missing the important ones. On the play, I could draw either a blue or a green source. We have a pretty good number of blue or green, and that's going to let me Brawler at least. So maybe I should keep this hand. It's extremely powerful, so I'm reluctant to mulligan a hand that's this powerful when I have multiple outs to be able to get to my draws here. I think I'm going to keep this. And I hope I don't play it. So do I play around an Essence Scatter? I have a Nile, so I think I'm supposed to just jam here, because then I can play. I can play this next turn if I draw land. I got one spell. That was good. They don't want me to fix my mana. I guess. I do have a bunch of answers, but I'll need to draw other. They let that resolve earlier pretty quickly, so I think I'm just going to jam and force them to be able to kill it. We just take the land here. I can Bone Splinters the Tolarian Terror. Or with one more land, I can just kill it with these. If we attack, then we could Meteorite this, and then kill this next turn. I could just Bone Splinters here, I think. And then hopefully we're able to deal with the Sky Knight before they get too much help. Well, this is interesting. They haven't had Essence Scatter all game. So maybe I'm supposed to just play the Riff. They've already played a ton of removal. And otherwise I'm just going to kill this and then keep taking damage. We'll see. I kind of want to play this, because if they play a spell, they'll be able to override their one. So we can go land. Meteorite, they're 2-1 now, actually. Go white, yeah. I do want to start attacking at some point. I might be able to attack with a 4/4 next turn. I trade the 4/4 for the 2/2. Griffin Protector can block. Or sorry, Ridge can block. If they have a Lightning Strike, that would be kind of awkward. That's probably the card they have, Lightning Strike, because we already know they're splashing. But I still get a 2-for-1. My Rift, if I do that. And then I could kill this and play this. And they just have 2 1/1s left. So that's okay. If I was at like 18 life, I probably would just take this damage. But I'm not 18 life. Okay. Do they have a spell? Because they can make another 1/1. Attack and then play both of these. Well, actually no, I'm just gonna kill this. Already, so I'm hoping that they're out of stuff. Maybe that was greedy, but I mean, really only Runic Shot punishes this attack. And I do kind of need to kill them. Eventually they could go wide enough that they can stop me. Just trying to threaten lethal. Kind of not drawing what I need here, unfortunately. Well, they got a tempo plan and it worked. Giving Cavalier, stall for time. Smash the Dust? It's worth considering. They do have a ton of 1/1s. But a lot of the 1/1s came off the back of like our Giving Cavalier, so this doesn't really answer it. The Sky Knight. I don't even know that it's that good. Snare Spinner's pretty good. Probably better than the Tide Turner. These blue-white tempo decks are definitely one of the best decks versus Domain, which is unfortunate. We have this matchup, but nothing we can do about that. Okay, so game 2, I think I need to just try to be... I mean, I can't be that aggressive, but I can be somewhat aggressive. I probably need to board this out for game 3, but I think I'm going to keep it in for game 2. Because they did remove all my threats, and it wasn't enchantment-based removal. So I might keep as is for game 2 and board a little differently for game 3. And because of that, I think Snare Spinner, it's not even that good against Griffin Protector, which is the main one. It's okay against the Sky Knight, but not even that good. I think I'd rather have the ramp from the Tide Turner. Yeah, no sideboard. This hand is just not quite powerful enough. These awkward hands. I think I'm supposed to mulligan. Like, what's my best case? If I keep this and hit, I'm playing like a 4/4. That doesn't really do that much. The Shieldred's Restoration in my opener is kind of a mulligan anyway. It's not the card you want in your opening hand. This hand's a lot better. We are missing white for Riff, but we have the rest of it. I guess get rid of the swamp because I already have double black. My blue source on turn 1 tapped in case I draw the fairy. There it is. They saw how much we needed the mana, they might just kill them. Bird's pretty good here. If they block next turn with a Soul Thunder, I'd probably go for the Rift, depending how they tap. Like if they tap out. And then if they don't block, I can just mirror his Outrider. If they block, then they can protect the Negotiators for 2. And if they let it through... I think I attack with both. Because I'm not going to play a Rift this turn. They just have all this open mana. They could also resolute, or the reinforcements, and this is tough. Anyways, I think I'm going to attack and just try to play a flame. That way they need multiple cards to get in here. They need reinforcements plus protect the Negotiators. If that's the card they have. At least now they have to kill it with a different spell. If they lightning strike it, then my Mirror's Outrider's more life to block the turn. Their deck's really good. Our deck's also really good, but it's hard when I have to tap out for all these threats to play around all their counters and things. I think I'm going to make it a 3/3 and then play the Outrider this turn. Try to find an answer for this. Unfortunately, not a lot of It's open out. I guess they don't know how good my Flame Sage is, but I was pretty afraid of this may cause a lot of trouble. Which is interesting, because if they have a bunch of instants and sorceries, they could just chump for days. So maybe they don't have a bunch of instant sorceries, or they didn't understand the value of my Flame Sage, which is, it's not that valuable. But I don't understand the value. Like, we both have these payoff cards, and we both don't necessarily know the value that each brings to what's going on with the other player, so... Okay, that explains a lot. This explains a lot. I'm just gonna play the Rift while we have a chance. I was hoping they would block, but they are too smart. So this can't be killed by Artillery Blast. It can be killed by the Fires of Victory, but not if they play a land. They'll only have 4 in hand. We're not untapping, and we're taking damage. We can attack and play a 3/3, and then we have both of these next turn. I don't really want to block with my 1/1. Nothing really great to bring back with my Soul Tender yet. If they attack with this, I assume I'm blocking. If they attack, there would be a reason to. They probably don't want to trade. So if they have multiple 3/3 flyers, I'm more inclined. They're gonna have to block one of these this turn, which means I'm gonna get a 4/4 flyer because they're at 9. So the attack for 1 really mattered. I'm just gonna attack for 1. Want another blocker. Do I want another flying blocker? I could Soul Tender back the Illusionist, or I could just play this 3/3. I'm gonna have 3 blockers, and the 3/3 actually blocks on the ground. This could chump if I need to. And then I have 2 lethal attackers. 3/3 might make a lethal attacker with another card. I think it's better, because then I can still Soul Tender the Illusionist next turn if I really need to. It's a close game. And if this Myriad Outrider dies, I can get it back and have lethal, but that's pretty slow. That's like 2 turns. I don't know if this game is going to go on that long. They're all about tempo. I will note, like, their mana base doesn't seem great. And we have all these red cards, so that might be an advantage to me if we get there. Alright, so I don't have any artifacts in place, so I can't bring this back right now. Alright, so what are we doing here? Attack with this, this, and this. Let's go to combat and see if we can even attack. We have an installed for time, that changes things. Do I attack with Miria also? I don't know, what does Miria achieve? What are their blocks? If they have nothing, they can block all of them. If they have something... I don't think attacking with this does a ton. But they do have to block. Maybe attacking with Rith is bad. Because it just means it's going to get killed in combat. In which case... also, attacking with this is not that good, because Griffin Protector gets a bonus. But Griffin Protector can only block one creature. So the other ones are more likely to get through. But if I have two lethal creatures, and I don't attack with the Rift, like if I attack like this, and they make a 1-1, and they block here, they have to block both of these, and I still get a 4-4? I think that's the best. I think having this die in combat is a good way to lose this game. Because then I don't get my creature end of turn if my Rift dies. I knew this would grow, because they have this in play. So if they have anything, it's going to grow. But they still need to block my Outrider. Now I think so I just need to not die. So what am I getting back from this? Do I want a 1-1 flyer or a 2-3? Probably a 1-1 flyer. If they play Protect Negotiators, they get 2 more creatures. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures, and I have 4 blockers. So I'm still okay. So I think I just play this. The only problem with this line is now they can block the Outrider next turn. And they can trade for it and kill them with it, but that was kind of a slow play anyways. They definitely need to play a creature. So they need to top deck on me here, I think. I definitely am not dead. Unless they draw something really good. Alright, so I have 6 lethal creatures, and they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blockers. 4 of mine fly, and 4 of theirs fly. So I should just start with Arona's Vortex. On this. They did not. So I think I'm just going to attack with the flyers plus the Outrider. Well, maybe I'll just attack with everything. Maybe not the Outrider. Maybe this. The Outrider can block these. The Flyers is going to be lethal already. So if they can kill something, like, if they can kill my 4/4, let's say, with Artillery Blast, they still have to block all 3 of these. And then I'm going to get another 4/4 Flyer. And that's assuming they drew anything. If they just have a land, then they're dead. Artillery Blast does seem like a likely draw. Alright, so for game 3, pretty sure I want my Snare Spinner. Do I want Smash to Dust? It kind of resets the Terra Kennerud. I kind of like Aggressive Sabotage if they have a bunch of clunky cards, but it also can power out their Tolarian Terror, which is kind of awkward, and also they can discard red cards if they're stuck in their hand, so I actually don't love it. I think I'm just going to cut the Volsci Tide Turner. I think Bone Splinters, it's alright. I don't like the Shieldred's Restoration, so maybe I can play Sabotage there. Bone Splinters, I just have to make sure they don't have their engines. So I'd have to sack something to be able to kill like a 5-drop, but I think that's fine. I think it's still worth playing. Like, I have plenty of creatures here. None of the cards on my sideboard are like that impressive. The Tide Turner is nice. I could also just cut this. This is just a 3/3 against them. It's not very good. They're attacking mostly in the air. So it might be better to have like a 2-drop rather than a Myria. It's mostly a 3/3. If I can play this and ramp out my Vine Shaper Prodigy or whatever, that's probably going to be better. So I just lower my curve up a little. Everything but blue. Well, still blue. Seen away from them to protect this but well, actually no, that's not true. Oh, now that I drew that, I can just play the Flame Sage, because then next turn I can play Sojourners. Well, I could also play Eerie Soul Tender right now. That's probably actually the best, because that I can trade with. Flame Sage I don't want to block. Oh, I can't actually play Sojourners next turn. I don't have the domain for it. But I can play a Flame Sage next turn. They did bottom twice, so maybe they're gonna miss. Maybe it's some land drop troubles. Definitely blocking. Alrighty. So this card's incredible, but it's mostly incredible with their Legend, so I think I should wait to kill the Legend rather than the Protector. I think I should play Magnagoth. Well, do I even play Magnagoth Sentry here instead of Sojourners? If they attack, I can't really block because I can make 2/1/1s. I can also play Keldon Flame Sage and then play a tap land, but that's kind of a waste of my mana. think I'm gonna play this and force them to have it. Because they're not gonna attack unless they have it, I don't think. That's the one I need to kill. That's a good one. Maybe I should just make it this guy. Next turn, if they play land and something else, then I can sabotage the last two cards in their hand, though. I think it's better to just get this out of play. So Terrace under that, and then sabotage next turn. Their last two cards. Untap with this, because then they just get to play whatever spells in their hand. Hopefully they don't have the second one, because then it was kind of a waste that I killed in the first place. But if they have the second one, the sabotage doesn't punish that anyways. Let's do that. I drew a land, so I could play the sentry, and they can't negotiate with me. What I could do also is just play Sabotage plus Keldon Flame Sage. I think that's actually going to be the best, because this is losing value pretty quickly. I guess I should play my land first, just in case. I don't really know how that would punish me. It's a little awkward that I'm not kicking it, because I can see, like, oh, I'm doing something. So they might want to still hold Protect the Negotiators. I'm pretty sure they have that card. Okay, so they just so the last card's super good. I'm just gonna attack. Pretty sweet. I also drew the island, so I can play Sojourners now, too. That was probably the last card they kept before, because they didn't have 4 mana the previous turn. Play a 4/4 here rather than Solkanar. I feel like Solkanar, when they tap out for their big play, Solkanar then. And I'd rather hold this to make a 3/3. So if I Solkanar that, then they're down to, I get 4 attacks with it. I don't have any way to get rid of the Solkanar though, so I need to be kind of careful with it. So I think I should just play a 3/3. I need to make sure my Solkanar. I don't think I'm under that much pressure that I want to launch Shipper Prodigy as a 2/2 quite yet. Do I want to try to find a spell here? It's kind of risky. I think I'd rather just get the damage in. I could enlist, but then it's bonus against removal. Do I want a Bone Splinters? Not really. Take the Illusionist. Looking good. Right, now we just attack with everything. Nice. Alright, on to the finals. Alrighty, the finals. This is it. We have 4 colors of mana, so Sojourners cost 4, and we can Soul Tender on 3. But this hand's definitely good enough. I want to play again Contaminated Aquaphor on turn 1 in case I draw one. Pixie Illusionist. I drew the Mana Worker. I think I just want to play my land so that I can get Domain. So if I go turn 3 Soul Tender, then I can Sojourners on 4. Mana Worker doesn't help me with that, so it's a little awkward that I drew it here, but that's okay. Trade with that. Put a Riff in my graveyard. I can't tell if the green black is splashing some blue or their domain deck because they've only played basics. Hopefully that holds things down. If it doesn't, I can play a 4/4 next turn. If they're attacking, it kind of... I mean, they attack with this and not this, so they're almost 100% to have Gaia's Might. So I should probably just take 3. Next turn I could double block. If they attack with both, it would be more likely to have, like, Battle Rage Blessing, but I don't think I really have to worry about that here. +3/+3, so I think I just take 3. And then this turn. Yeah, I'm gonna have to kill that here at some point. I could also race, but I think that's kind of bad. They go to 11. I have so much power in my... If I get to deploy all my threats, like, I'm probably gonna win. It's probably better if I do want to start attacking to attack with both next turn. Because then... No, I don't even get a good trade, though. Outrider... But I could attack with a 4/6. It's not even good, because what I'm going to do is remove a threat and I still just get the Gaia's Might. So I think I should just play the Pixie Illusionist. Next turn I can Mana Worker plus Soul Tender back the Riff. If I attack both, I can trade this for this. Get in for 4, they're down to 10. If they go for the Gaia's Might, I can tear asunder plus Sojourners this turn. If they just offer the trade, then I can just... Well, I can still deploy Sojourners and hold up and tear asunder the Tatiova. Honestly, it's probably just what I'm supposed to do this turn. So I think attack with both is good. I don't want to act first here because they probably have a combat trick. So if I fire off Tear Asunder, it's just getting poorly for me. So let's just trade for their Bog Badger. That's fine. Now the question is, do I want to salvage Mana Worker and bring back the Riff? I think the answer is no. I think I want to play Sojourners and then win with my 4/6s here. I can get rid of their Tatiova, or if they play something really, really good, I can go to that instead. No, it's blocked. If I do that, then they can Urborg repossession them both. But I think actually that's kind of a good thing for me, because they use the repossession to get back 2 cards they can't even play this turn. They go to 12. Get rid of the Tatiova, attack them down to 4, and then their cards don't even do that much, so... Okay. Well, in that case, I'll just kill the Rager. I think it's a low one. That's a good one. Now I can just get back the Riff, I don't even have to wait. So they're a base green-black deck with some blue for Tatiova, Urborg Repossession. Oh, sorry, Urborg Planeshaper Prodigy. Alright, so do I have any bad ones against their deck? Enthrall the Pit's pretty good if they have a few important cards like Tatiova that I can just get rid of. So especially good with Tatiova because I can steal it, play a land, get a flyer of my own, and then Tatiova goes bye-bye. So that's an interesting one I could play. Sabotage is pretty good. They have a bunch of like 2/2s and 3/3s in their deck. So maybe well, this is good against 2/2s, but not good against 3/3s. I already have the salvaged Mana Worker. I don't want to go overboard, and like this is really a 4. I do just need creatures to block with. I kind of like Enthrall the Pit, but is it better than anything? Magnigal Sentry is not that good against them. It's good against Tatiova Flyers, though. Maybe my deck is just well balanced as is. This sort of seems like a win more proposition. If they have an absolute bomb, then that I haven't seen yet, maybe I'll bring this in. But it more seems like they're green-black value, and it's not actually that good against green-black value. I like the Sabotage. But I also like the Restoration, kind of. Maybe I board out my 1/3 for a Sabotage. the 1/3 just doesn't block 3/3s well. And they kind of have a decent number of 3/3s. Alright, I think that's the one change I'll make. This hand's okay. It's not great, but not great. They are mulling twice. Not gonna jinx it, gonna knock on wood, but I just need to make sure it is Nile online. And we drew the land for that, so we're pretty much there. It might not be online, because they might take it. I like setting the stop if I could have essence scatter. Here it doesn't. I knew most of my hand anyways. 4/4 into Meteorite is solid on the board. I think it's better than Void Shaper Prodigy right now. I have card quality already, so keeping play the card is worse than just 4/4 when I can get that card. I think we Meteorite the. Which one do I want them to get back less? You know, I could just offer the trade. Bad though, they know I have the Meteorite. I guess I would rather kill the Rager and let them get that back. They have a Gaiasmite there. Worry about that a little bit. Because I'm attacking a 4/4 and a 2/2 that they can turn into a 5/5 if they had a Gaiasmite. That's why I kind of want to read it. You sometimes want to set some stops. So I just didn't have to worry about it. Now I probably hold off again. Although if they trade, now I can play a Neshoba Brawler, which is a 5/3, so that actually does change things. I'm just going to attack. If they double block, then we just say okay. Like this. Get the Solkanar, I think. Just, I guess if I attack, I could Rona's Vortex the Swamp. Goes back to their hand. And then I can Solkanar the Tatiana. And they're almost dead at that point. I think I like doing that. I'm letting them block first. Because then I still get the trample. Lethal. That's a creature, so that's good. I just want to draw. Let's attack. We did it! Double 3-0. Got it all. And that is all of it. That's the Arena Open, folks. So we were as most champion as we could champion on this journey. So thanks for hanging out, getting to watch us with that. Got some money, so that's pretty sweet. That's definitely going to help fund all the projects here at 40 Card College. So I definitely have had some startup costs. So this couldn't have come at a better time, honestly. And it's my first time. It's like my second or third Arena Open I've played, and first time cashing. So pretty cool. All right, I'll catch you all around, and thank you for joining me again.